Peter Brooks says that all it takes for an act of theatre to occur is for one person to walk across an empty space and for another to observe. 1989, Reading University, last day of teacher training. Notice the happy smile, the warm glow. Oh, you can't tell which one is me. Well, I was blonde then, and slim, and wrinkle-free, and full of passion to be a drama educator. Okay, everyone, just have a little wriggle around. Shake those arms. Go on, shake those legs. Have a bit of a wriggle. Yeah, that's good. And relax. Hey, guys. School play rehearsals begin tomorrow evening. Bring your scripts. Be on time. Perry, Linda, congratulations. You've made it to drama school. A good school needs so much more than just exam results. And you have enhanced our reputation in such a superb way with this production. What do you mean you cancelled the Year 9 theatre trip? Just because of a talent show? But it's been on the calendar all year. Sorry guys, drama studio's flooded again. We're going to have to use a classroom. Once more, unto the breach, dear friends, once more. Or close the wall up with our English dead. Oh, well done, Peter. You have demonstrated an excellence by demonstrating techniques effectively in a scripted context. I wonder what it would have been like to have been Henry V at the Battle of Agincourt, leading his men into battle. Oh, no, Peter. That's not what this assessment is all about. It's about how well you use voice, body, movement, and space. Now, do remember to hand in your paperwork. And so, I enter no man's land and cross the battlefield, caught between assessment, examination, curriculum, syllabus, process, product, fighting for resources, exhausted, frustrated, depressed. You can only count what can be counted. You can only measure what can be measured. Grindian education, the quantification of learning, labelling, for labelling's sake. Achieved? Merit. Excellence. Not achieved. And so I knock at the Faculty of Education door. May I come in? What for? Well, I'd really like to study the battles and barricades of education, metaphors drawn from the sometimes vociferous discourses of drama education over a century of practice. Come. A qualitative, quantitative, subjective, objective, epistemology, ontology. What methodology? Interviews and questionnaires? No, that's not for me. All the world's a stage, and men and women merely players, as you like it, William Shakespeare. attending the International Drama in Education Symposiums at Auckland University, I discover research-based theatre and ethnographic performance. To discover that data can be generated, mediated and disseminated through drama was like a light illuminating a darkened stage. Performative inquiry, the third paradigm. Limerick, Ireland, 2012. The International Drama and Education Research Institute. Kathleen Galby. Melancholy. It is the loss of ideals and the hyper-judgment of the self. Drama teachers wither under the weight. That's me. That's me. Melancholy. Argyll calls it an Elizabethan emotion more aesthetic than depression. Aesthetic? Something pretty. Andy says people think of tripping lightly through fields of golden daffodils. But he says, think of the opposite. Think of anesthetic, something that numbs, that deadens. But we need to understand the aesthetic and what makes us feel alive. And I am alive, sitting at the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford, watching As You Like It. And I hear Jaques speak to Rosalind of his melancholy. Oh, not the scholar's melancholy, but one of his own making, which wraps me in a most humorous sadness. Victor Turner says we come to know our lives through performance. Nicholson says we archive our lives performatively. And so I create a dyadic encounter, one in which my participants, key drama and education practitioners, and I will imagine the creation of a museum of educational drama and applied theatre using Stanislavski's If. And we will see what lies across the battlefield and over the barricades using maps and metaphor, movement and monologue, symbols and images to embody our stories of passion and melancholia in practice. John says it cannot be static because drama is alive and visceral, evanescent and embodied. Andy says, well, what shall we fill it with? Books and artefacts and stuff? But I'd much rather it got back to its roots of being playful. And I say that very carefully, because I believe we can do some very serious stuff. And so, the voices of the museum begin to speak. And typical, we don't have an empty space, we have a space of tables and chairs. But drama needs an empty space in which we can imagine and inquire, in which we can play, in a space of possibilities. Andy plays imaginatively with the props. We have a certain way of doing things here at this school. The school way. Way, Brian. He's wonderful, isn't he? You've painted the drama studio black. People who know a lot more about education than you do didn't paint it black. school here, mate. It's great. It's really exciting. Jonathan likes to be on the margins, where he can create a safe space artistically, politically, imaginatively. This is the westward site of the University of Warwick, where I first began my drama training. Welcome to Siberia. I don't make any claims for transformation. I don't make any claims for the long term. I heave a sigh of relief. How can we claim that drama can transform someone forever? And so, I become actor, director, designer, dramaturg, researcher. And as I transcribe my videos, re-speaking every line aloud, and I juxtapose the stories with my own, and like Saldana, I look for the golden moments that resonate. And I stop thinking like a social scientist and think like an artist. John says we should trust our intuition, trust our emotion. 2014. I celebrate the scholar's melancholy. No longer blonde, no longer slim, and with a tube of anti-wrinkle cream. John says, no war is ever won on the battlefield. But Jonathan says we need the tensions, for they are the very essence of this dynamic art form. John says, make a hole in the barricade. Crawl through. And see what lies beyond.
Don't you ever play old women in your dramas? You've got to have a scarf.
The wool. It's also neat and tidy, and I don't want to upset you by
You've
wrapping.
got to have a scarf.
I find choosing items too restrictive. This is a flag.
What's it like to be an orange person?
You don't have any books.
Okay, move to a yellow person. If you had a green voice, what would a green
This
voice
is
sound
lovely.
like?
What a fun thing to do. I think everyone should do
You
this
don't have
all
any
of
books
them.
in your selection. Why is
I
that?
like this very much. It's horribly self-indulgent. I can see and feel things in three dimensions.
This is amazing.
I can start making
This
links.
is
You
very
don't have a scarf. I knew I'd do it well. It's a very good methodology.
What's it like to be an orange person?
I like this
Okay,
very
move
much.
to a
It's
yellow
horribly
person.
self-indulgent.
If you had
I
a
can
green
see and
voice,
feel
what would
things
a
in
green
three
voice
dimensions.
sound like?
I can start making links.
Welcome to the Museum of Educational Drama and Applied Theatre, the unconventional space to be. We invite you to wander and to wonder, and to engage with the exhibits, puppets and masks, plays and books, awards and acknowledgements. Explore the battles and barricades. Walk the educational tightrope. Visit the family tree exhibit. Come out feeling better than you went in. I am the archivist, and I will be your guide, along with my colleague Melanie, who is a drama teacher, but she's taking a little time out of the classroom right now. Melanie? where are you? The visitors are here! Sorry, just one moment. Melanie! Melanie, where are you?
Help! Let me out of this box!
What on earth are you doing in there? Dear, oh dear. Now, you see, the visitors are here. I see you've noticed. The brown dress that once belonged to Dorothy Heathcote. And the VHS tape, 3 looms waiting. O'Connor named it as the film that changed his life. Far out. It was like being stout Cortez standing on the edge of Darien, seeing the Pacific for the first time. Peter is a Heathcote boy. He calls her teaching revolutionary. If that ain't connected to that, which is around social justice, then it's pointless. His journey has been straight lines. Straight lines. Oh, good evening! You must be Jane's father. Yes, well, we're very surprised she wants to do drama at university. She's quiet by nature. But Jane had a wonderful drama teacher who took her painting just after her mother died. Lynn never had a drama teacher, and she felt excluded when the school did musicals and improvisations. But she was never stopped by anyone saying no. Here in this museum, there must be a space where we can just perform without being judged. Andy used to watch school musicals, but audition for them, never. It would have been terrifying, a complete anathema. And at college, that drama society, all that touchy-feely, gropey stuff, whew, that wasn't for him. It's a bit of a paradox how he ended up doing this stuff. Ron was a shy little bookworm until professional theatre discovered him and took him away from a very unpleasant school situation. The shell broke and he blossomed. John is encouraged to love drama and theatre by some very inspiring teachers. He got to play the role of Portia, aged 12. I made a really nifty figure and we had some really great cozies. I remember a coat of beautiful velvet grey. Kissing Bassanio was a bit of a problem. Jonathan grew up in a very privileged theatre background, and that is the key to understanding Neelance's work. He wants to give that to children who are not as advantaged. Lynn asks, well, how many drama teachers who have changed so many children's lives have been forgotten? The big brown dress swept in, bursting through the double doors, swirling a ship's rope above its head. Pull, you buggers, pull! John reenacts his first encounter with Dorothy. It was an amazing intervention, but she wasn't always so spectacular. Ron remembers doing a workshop with her and calls her teaching massively charismatic. Andy was intrigued. It's magical and mysterious. What buttons does she press, and where are the plays? Jonathan says, well, how can we be? Dorothy Heathcote, you can't make drama teaching so difficult no one can do it. So, he collected conventions to be the palette, not the painting. And it was a VHS tape of Gavin Bolton that changed his life. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. It totally changed my life. There's this little gnome-like man sitting on a chair like this. Now, what do you want to make a play about? It's no use saying stupid things. Gavin is John's absolutely #1 mentor. He's an amazing teacher, astonishing teacher, sharp as a tack. In the studio at Griffiths University, at the height of Brisbane summer, air conditioning on, John creates a barricade. 2 rows of chairs to describe the battles of the 1980s. I want a curriculum that is functionalist, utilitarian, and 19th century. Oh, and by the way, while we're at it, let's get rid of the milk. The great debate. Process versus product. Theatre versus drama. Hornbrook versus Heathcote. David versus Dorothy. D.H. versus D.H. You've got to have some people on this side firing guns. And you've got to have some people on this side looking very surprised to find themselves being shot at. Who? Us! But Andy says drama teachers got themselves tied great big knots, creating barricades needlessly and destructively. Hornbrook ran a flag up the mast for the art form. But what kind of art form did he want, asks John. The canon of dead white men, says Peter. But Andy says that is a paradox, 'cause it was David who introduced him to Dorothy's work. And people said a lot of terrible things about David Hornbrook, but he was a very good teacher with some very good ideas. Jonathan is inspired by Cecily O'Neill, whose Celtic charm weaves magical stories way beyond his comprehension. Peter calls her teaching stunning.
Do drama teachers have to be magical and mysterious and charismatic to be perfect?
Well, Peter draws a picture of the ideal drama practitioner. With a big heart feet. Diamonds on the soles of their feet. Diamonds on the soles of their feet. Diamonds on the soles of their feet. Oh, sorry. Oh, and John! John draws the dancing feet as well. Diamonds on the soles of their feet. Diamonds on the soles of their feet. And big ears to listen. Jonathan made sense of Wagner's book. And he never did. Mystifying, obfuscation, bloody confusing. But Cecily's book, there's a route here, a plan. But he's still left asking, where are the plays? While Jane creates a play to be performed in the Museum of Educational Drama and Applied Theatre. Data framed inside a drama. Stories reimagined and embodied. For as Saldana asks, what could be more compatible than employing the art form to exhibit a participant's relationship with that art form?
We should use red buttons.
No, I'm very sorry. No red buttons. No, because Lynn doesn't want any. She wants these exhibits to be alive.
Okay then, the rest of these exhibits. The family tree exhibit. We need a ginger plant, a rhizome, a forest of trees, a world map.
Don't forget New Zealand.
What about money?
Money is no object.
So we really are in the realms of a complete fantasy. Why are there so many men in this museum? Where are the women?
There are many wonderful women. There was Dorothy Hepburn and Cecily O'Neill, but she was too busy to take part in this research. And Jane's heroine, Harriet Finlay Johnson. But these are the participants who have influenced Jane. And now, Jane, during her research, she invited the participants to imagine the opening of the museum. And then, juxtaposing, synthesizing, mediating, playing an illusion, a pretense, she brings the participants together to plan for this auspicious occasion. Hello? Ladies and gentlemen? Hello? Thank you. The museum would like to invite you to create a battle cry, a rallying cry for the opening of this museum, based on Shakespeare's Henry V. Now, John has said that drama is a naughty and transgressive medium. And Andy says, well, you've got to be a bit playful, a bit devilish. English and chuck in the hand grenade. Oh, and by the way, the Minister of Education is going to be present. We're not allowed to give rallying cries anymore. Researchers have to write such dispassionate research articles. There's nothing to stir the blood, to rally us over the barricade. We're not even allowed to talk to teachers anymore. Once more, onto the bridge, dear friends, once more. Or close the wall up with our English dead. When those words were first spoken in London at the Globe in 1599, 1 in 3 Londoners went to the theatre at least once a month. It was an essential part of their daily lives.
Well, I know what I'd like to say to our esteemed Minister of Education.
Good evening. Breaking news. Tonight's news, the Secretary of State for Education, Michael Gove, has been found dying, most slowly, horribly and painfully, on a rusty trolley in the back corridors of an NHS hospital. His downfall? Gangrenous testicles. Michael, darling, the Prime Minister's on the phone for you. Are any of you here so mean and base as to destroy what has been made? Now is not the time to be modest or humble. Now is the time to speak out loudly and clearly about why drama and theatre is so important, particularly in these difficult times. And these are the darkest, darkest, darkest days in England for over 40 years.
It's always been the darkest, darkest days.
Conformity, compliance, knowledge-based curriculum. When the blast of war blows in your ears, then imitate the action of the tiger, stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood.
Not once more, but again, and again, and again.
The everyday story, still it must be told. We will not be stranded as spectators to the world, but we must be actors in, of, and with the world.
For our duty, our charge.
Walking in someone else's shoes. Critical thinking. Social justice. Employment skills. Democracy. Drama as an art form. Drama as a serious subject in its own right. Will you let what lies within be swilled into the wild and wasteful ocean? So, cry drama for children and all humanity. Cry drama for one and all. Now, forget all that. A lot has happened in 600 years. And you don't need to imitate the action of the tiger. You don't need to think of yourselves as having a battle. If Henry's men had learned French and gone to France and listened, there'd have been a lot less sad widows instead of smashing up Agincourt. Well, I will not rally you into battle because I believe that in battle we lose sight of the artful, the fun, the profit. Hey, it's a really great rallying cry, because you know what they're saying? Henry, you want us to die for you? We're not doing that. Listen to the child within you. Listen to the child you once were. Follow your spirit. Follow your spirit. Remember what brought you to drama. Don't give up. Be bold. Dare to be different. Believe in yourself. Be true to yourself. I'm sure you'll agree with me, Secretary of State for Education. The drama and theatre is a universal entitlement for all children. And participatory forms of drama are a critical way for them to learn to work together profitably, constructively, with feeling and with emotion. This is a safe space. This is a haven. This is a safe space of respect and compassion. This is a safe space for all those without a voice, marginalized, scared. Come here, come here. Safe, safe, safe.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Education in a classroom is not a safe space. When drama teachers mark, assess, judge and critique students, expecting them to perform like professional actors, and when other students can critique their work on Facebook.
What we need is a contract. Equality of participation, equality of voice, restraint in speech and action so others are not coerced or frightened by you. Hey, look, I don't want to be the harbinger of doom, but drama in schools in England is rapidly disappearing because of cockeyed notions of what it means to progress and gain knowledge. Well, drama in New Zealand is no longer the radical subject it once was.
Because everyone is frightened of the moderator!
Teach these children facts. Plant in them nothing else. Root out everything else. Charles Dickens, Hard Times. The battle now is with the government, our ultimate masters. We are just political football.
Da 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 da. If we were radical, wouldn't we be at the center of the curriculum? Isn't that our goal?
The future for drama education lies in teacher training, in valuing and understanding what we do. Without training, you are limited in what you can do. The better you are at drama, the better the dramas you do. Hey! the rallying cries. Hey, you can have that one. What a great task.
Great task? Great task? More bloody paperwork. How do we assess it? What are the learning outcomes? Does anyone have any resources?
It's the quintessential circle, the shape that holds it all. Dialogic, democratic, enter, it's your call. The circle is a symbol of equality of power, just like a well-made crucible through which we can empower. Miraculous engagement, interaction to create. It is the goal of learning through which we motivate. It's different to a classroom with desks all placed in rows, where rules are fearfully followed because the teacher knows. It's not about assessment, ticking boxes, learning skills. That's a barrier to learning. And what does that fulfill?
Parents want to know, what does drama think about? Curriculum and syllabus, it has value without doubt. Employers want the teamwork doing drama and still creating and communicating time and skills.
Why do we do it? Student teachers come back from their first teaching practice and they say, why isn't drama at the centre of the curriculum? Why do people laugh at it? Why isn't it taken more seriously? Why do maths teachers tell kids they're gay because they want to do drama? And I say, hey, get over it because it is never going to be any different. It is a roller coaster that makes and breaks your heart. Kids will take you right up there, then bam!
I don't want to get close to children anymore.
Is it meant to be fun? It's not an amusement ride. But drama needs fun. Energy, delight, joy. It's interesting, creative, alive. Yes, drama is fun, but what are we learning? I don't want to be a cow! Cows are boring! Well, you can be any kind of cow you like. All right then. I'll be a cow who plays hockey for the NHL. And I'll wear my hockey helmet. And I'll wear my hockey knee pads. And I will be stopping parks when Jack and Jill come to take me to the market. I almost said no. Jane is inspired to read Hard Times. I never had a child's heart. I never had a child's dream. I never had a child's belief. I never had a child's fear. Well, the reason is, as you well know, the only faculty to which education should be addressed. Facts, hard knowledge, traditional education, thinking without feeling. Now, where might that lead us? It might lead us to the gas chambers, that's where. But where are the spaces for play in learning? The fortress of knowledge has huge high towers, and locks, and gates. You will not pass without a key. So children built barricades, impenetrable barricades. I don't want to do this because people will laugh at me. They'll say I'm the teacher's pet. I'm uncomfortable with my body shape. Well, I can't be bothered. But I believe that what keeps a child from getting out of that chair and entering this red space is what stops them from participating in life. But drama teachers give their hearts and skills to persuade them to peep above the barricade, to dismantle destruction.
Oh, come on, Year 9! Can't you make a little more effort on a Friday afternoon? I know it's hot!
But why are we surviving? I believe we're surviving because the children are our barricade. They love their drama. They love their subject.
Here's your story, let's begin. The world is fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life. Bigger than the world.
Birmingham Repertory Theatre from the Ministry for Education. We do not believe drama to be core knowledge. It is more a question of pedagogy. Letter from Patrice Baldwin to the Guardian newspaper. To say that drama is a question of pedagogy may be politically expedient, but it is complete nonsense. Drama is a subject. National drama are outraged. Why? Haven't we been saying that for 30 years? Drama is not a subject, it is a pedagogical method. Where does drama belong? Oh, where does it live? Hello, Cooey, hi there. My name's Drama, and I have been visiting your housing estate, the curriculum. And I was wondering, philosophy, if I could come and live next door to you. Hello, Cooey, hi. My name's Drama. Social studies. I was just peering over your fence and wondering if I could come and live next door to you. No. Hello, literature. Oh, arts. Drama. In the blinking arts bucket. Ridiculous. It has more to do with humanities. End of. Well, in New Zealand, they teach Neelands, they teach conventions. Why? Why melodrama? Why commedia dell'arte? Why? NCEA, that's the barricade! GCSE, A-level. They are the scariest responsibility. Students' whole futures depend on it. I want to be famous! Well, if you think you're going to be discovered by Hollywood or Broadway, then you've come to the wrong place. This is a space of inquiry, of exploration. When I was at university, Ian McKellen was in the year ahead of me.
Now, Sir Ian McKellen.
And I would audition, leave with my tail between my legs, never get a call back. I'm not a very good actor. I'm a much better teacher.
Anderson says schools are not and never should be theatres.
The knowledge that is most useful to you in this space is the knowledge of human behavior. In 2012, Jane discovered her first golden moment in research. This is a farewell gift given to Peter by a boy with special needs, someone on the margins. Peter was playing the role of Roger the monster, who lived under a cloth in the drama studio. gifts to say goodbye. Gifts to say we'll be friends forever. You've painted this yellow rock. Is it for me? For me to keep forever? Oh. I'll keep it forever. As drama teachers, we will give courage, love and kindness, compassion and care, hearts and minds and honesty, fun and laughter, 100%, and knowledge with a kiss. You will get angry and frustrated, and that's okay. This is artistry. You will never, ever be satisfied. You will beat yourself up over the things you didn't do. Melancholia is a lack of recognition. Or we're struggling to create, to be that alchemist. Drama teaching is a very tiring job. And you're never going to be at the centre of the curriculum. And you're never going to earn a lot of money, and you're always going to be marginalised. And if drama's at your school, it's only there because somebody has fought to get it there. And if you haven't got that passion, and you haven't got that determination, and you haven't got that courage, then go and teach something else instead. Onward! Onward! Over the barricades! Are you coming with us?
Are you kidding? I haven't been in a drama classroom for 20 years. I'm not coming back.
Archivist, I never explained why I've been in this school for 34 years. I wanted to be a classroom practitioner. I wanted to stay in the classroom. And when I first got here, the situation was pretty dire. There was a pile of stinking costumes in the corner. None of the lights worked. And the only resource I had was this empty space. Oh, but the empty space is challenging, waiting to be filled. Dig deep and listen. Trust the process and your skill. What is going on? Melanie? Melanie, what is happening? Melanie! Steve! Where are you going? Gets in. Oh! My goodness, here is a first edition copy with shiny cover of a book that could only have been written at the beginning of a career by somebody on the verge of understanding what drama was all about. Jonathan Neelan's Making Sense of Drama. And the label he has asked us to put on it? Because I never will. And that, says Andy, is drama's greatest strength. Because if we ever did make sense of it, well, it'd be a bit pointless carrying on, wouldn't it? All right, guys, all right, you've worked really, really hard at this production. What's that song? It will be good, it will be good, it will be good, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, Damien, go on then. Why'd you treat me like a Mars bar? You suck my toffee and you lick my all right, thank you. That's enough. Okay, 3 minutes, and you're on. The pre-performance ritual. Positivity, encouragement, community, play. Peter Brook says a play is play. And Jane is rediscovering play on her journey out of melancholia. And she is inspired by Saldana's rap to get off your ass and perform. But her play will not be finished until it contains your voices. John has asked that your ticket to this museum allows you a chance to take part in a workshop. And Lynn has asked that you get up and step on in. And Andy, well, he would like you to play with the props. So, shall we go and have a cup of tea first?